All right, welcome everyone to the January 2022 Ridgecrest Chamber Luncheon. Excited to have you all here. Excited to see some faces that we haven't seen in a while, and excited to have Eric Barbe from Community Action Partnership and First and all to tell us about what they're doing with Oasis Family Resource Center. So before we get going, I want to highlight a couple things. Hopefully, we're going to be able to move to our luncheon in person next month. We'll see what this variant does and what the board decides. And coming up next month in February, on February 24th, we have our annual Economic Outlook Conference. This is the 35th annual Economic Outlook Conference. So we've been doing this thing for a long time and looking forward to another great year. We have our keynote speaker again is going to be Dr. Mark Schneep, and he's going to be presenting. We've got a great lineup of community speakers and a great rotation for us that day. So we're really looking forward to it, hoping that we can move back into being in person. Last year we did it virtually, and the content was fantastic, but we definitely missed bumping shoulders with one another. So hopefully next month we'll be able to do that. We have a board meeting this week, so hopefully as we discuss how to move forward, we'll be able to do that. So just want to highlight that. As we get going, I want to highlight that this session is being recorded, so we will be able to provide that to our membership on our YouTube page later on. So if you want to catch that later, you can do that or refer anyone to it. But at this time, I'd like to just take a moment and introduce Eric and let him take over. He's got some slides for us, and really looking forward to hearing what he's got going on in Ridgecrest and for our community.
Good morning and welcome. My name is Eric Barbe. I'm the supervisor of the Oasis Family Resource Center. Some of you may have heard of us, some of you not. We're fairly new. So I really would like to give you an introduction of CAPK, which is Community Action Partnership of Kern, on First 5 Kern today. We'll talk more about the Oasis Family Resource Center on the service we provide. If you have questions, let me know. So you may have heard of CAPK. They're based in Bakersfield. It's a huge nonprofit that employs over 1,000 people in the county. They have a lot of services in Bakersfield, like a homeless shelter, the food bank, some youth center, many WIC on Head Start program. However, until recently, in Ridgecrest, we only had WIC on the Head Start program. And what CAPK is working on is bringing some of the services to rural area like Mojave, like Bakersfield. And I'm going to talk more about that today. And really, our goal is to help people who need the help to change lives. So this is our promise. We want to change people's lives, to improve the community, to make America a better place to live. So we do care about the community, and I'm going to explain that in more detail in some slides. We do have a mission statement, so we address the underlying cause of poverty to alleviate the effect on promote dignity in the community we serve. One of our vision is that all individual people would have equal opportunity to achieve greater self-sufficiency. And I'm going to talk to you more about how we help people achieving self-sufficiency. Just a little background history. CAPK has been around for quite a while. They were established in 1965 to offer support to individual families that need the help across the county. Some of those guiding principles are leadership, commitment, quality service, delivery, respect, and communication. As I mentioned, the Oasis Center is very new. We opened in May of last year. However, there was already a head start on a WIC program in Ridgecrest that's run by CAPK. So we opened last May, and we have found, you may or may not have heard of First 5, and I'm going to give you a little more information about that. First 5 Kern is our primary source of funding. Without them, we will not be able to provide the service we provide to the community of Ridgecrest. Our primary focus is helping family with children 0 to 5. That being said, we will help any family that need help. We just have more resources for family with children 0 to 5. Last summer, we held our first summer bridge program in partnership with Sierra Sands Unified School District. I'm going to tell you more about what a summer bridge program is in slides forward. We also do case management to family. So we do home visit. We have a court management class, and I will give you more detail about that. We do ASQ, screening, which is called age stage questionnaire. So we basically assess kids that are 0 to 5 at a different time point to see how they're doing, where they may need referral, where they may need more learning activities, along with home-based education. So there's a lot of learning going on with the program we offer to families. Just a bit background about First 5. I'm not going to read the whole slide, but basically it's funded by the tobacco tax. So the tobacco tax that was passed in 1998 with Prop 10 is giving funding to different organizations, and that's our primary source of funding. Over 201 million since 1999 has been given in those areas in the county. This was a grand opening last year. We are located at 814 North Norman Street. So it's the same building as Week on Head Start. We have a Facebook page. We have a web page if you want to visit them. There's 3 members of staff. We have Cheryl, who is our case manager. So our primary role is doing case management with families. She visits families. We have Ada, who is our office assistant, and there's myself as a supervisor. If you ever come to a building, you need to go through the back entrance because the front entrance is for Week on Head Start. You're welcome to stop by, visit us. That's nearest cross street is Drummond Avenue. So to tell you a bit more about the Family Resource Center, this is something that was created in the concept. Ours is just a few months old, but since 2000 to provide family support services. So one of the main functions is to do case management or visitation. So we have families that may be struggling financially or maybe struggling with education of children 0 to 5. So we try to meet a gap that's not met by the school district, because the school district is from kindergarten for grade 12. So we try to bring additional resource for parents with children 0 to 5. We do provide basic need assistance such as food, clothing. We actually give a lot of diapers away because diapers are expensive. So families who struggle, we give them baby item. We have a platform that's called Unite Us, so we can do referrals for families that may need immunization, physical exams, and so forth. We have some parent education classes on support group, and I'm going to talk more about parent education classes in some next slide. And we have early learning opportunity for your children at home on our summer bridge program. We help the community with VITA. VITA is, this is the perfect timing of the year to talk about that because it's tax assistance. So we will help family who need our help file their taxes with no cost. We do rental assistance for people who are on the verge of being evicted. We do energy assistance for people who struggle paying their electric and gas bill. We also have DMV vouchers if people cannot afford their DMV fees. And we keep adding services as we grow. So one of the first thing we did is offer a summer bridge program. Because there's a need to offer educational program to small children. We actually met with the CSN School District. We identified some of the need, and you'd be amazed. We had kiddos who were 4 or 5 years old who never held a pencil or a crayon. So we did some of that, teaching them to trace their name, recognize and writing the alphabet, counting and writing numbers, completing small puzzles. We had children who were 4 or 5 years old who never completed a little puzzle before, or who never held a pair of scissors, reading stories. So the idea is that a lot of children, unfortunately, are not always ready to enter kindergarten because the expectation are that they should know a lot of those things. They're going to be taught to read, but it's to read and to write, but it's very challenging if they never held a pencil. So we try to remediate some of those findings, and we do some of that at home for people who are willing to have home visits as well. So to provide all the service we do, it's essential that we partner with the community. And I moved to Ridgecrest last March, and I've been very impressed with the willingness of people to help. So we help family access resources in the Ridgecrest area. We cannot do it all. For example, the Salvation Army is helping us providing clothing to low-income family who cannot afford clothing or food. We work with college services for college community services for referrals. We work with the school district for summer bridge program. What we try to do is not duplicate services already in place because we cannot do it all, or we want to expand our services. So we provide as well as taking referral across agency, and we try to identify unmet needs in the community. Some of the big unmet needs are homelessness. Unfortunately, there's no emergency housing. Yes, there's a women's shelter, but that's for specific. They do a wonderful job helping people who may have been abused or women, but it doesn't meet all the needs of all the homeless people. And also, there's a lack of transportation. So we partner with local organizations and volunteers to try to provide to identify new services and provide services to meet those needs. It's like we had this volunteer here. She brought a truckload of diapers back from a food bank in Bakersfield. So we have volunteers helping us too, and I'll talk about that more in the next slide. So for us to be able to have a family, it's essential that we get support from the community. If you read the newspaper in the last few months, I wrote a couple of letters to the editors acknowledging all the help we receive. My biggest fear is I forget people because we've had so many people helping us. Last Christmas, Kim Metcalf, who is the director of the foundation of the Ridgecrest Hospital, she stepped up with a bunch of friends, and she spread the word with businesses, individuals, and they gave gifts for 120 children last Christmas. So you see some pictures of those kiddos and families who received gifts. All the family we served in the last year, we were able to provide Christmas gifts for all these kiddos. On the High Desert Quilt Guild made some amazing quilt. They made some baby quilt for all the newborns, and they gave quilt to give away to a client. We received a donation from Wacom. Elks Lodge, the Ridgecrest Elks Lodge has been amazing. We needed audiovisual equipment. They purchased it for us. Tomorrow I'm going to Bakersfield. The Dollar General is providing us a grant for baby readiness. And with that, we'll be able to buy gift for low-income family. The WIC has 41 babies coming up in the next 9 months. On all of these families are low income. So we're going to help those young moms as much as we can with the things they need, like diaper bags, diapers, whatever they may need. Parents need tons of stuff when they have babies. And we've received some donation from individual in cash, goods, or people volunteering their time. So we're very grateful for the community. We could not do that without their support. The summer bridge, I mentioned earlier on, the objective is to have the kiddos ready for for when they enter kindergarten. So we do some assessment when they start on in the program. The great thing is we did see huge improvement, like completing a puzzle, being able to hold a pencil, some of those skills I mentioned earlier on. So it's a beneficial program. We see the benefit of it. So when we did last year, we had a capacity of 12 children per session, and we run at maximum capacity the second session. We followed COVID-19 on the school district protocol. It was open to any children entering the fall of 2021. We're hoping and planning on repeating that this summer. On the school district and staff may recommend children, and we work with local organization to recruit children. And the instructor was the Cheryl orchestra manager on myself. That was a flyer. Some of you may have seen that last summer. So it was distributed through Head Start, through the school district, as well as local organization. This program, there's no income base. It's it's kiddos that need preparation, and we planning on repeating it next summer. As I mentioned, this is a repeat this slide. So there was some of the key findings. One of the next service we provide is the nurturing parenting court managed class. So sometimes parents are in custody battles. Sometimes they may not, they may have neglected the children, and it's court order for them to complete this class. This class can be, if they go for a private organization, it can be pretty costly. And we actually offer to the community there's a $20 enrollment fee because it's required by the court that the parents show some kind of commitment to pay the fee. We offered it last quarter. We offered it at the community college services in the morning, and then starting tonight, we are offering it at the Salvation Army. We're doing an evening class because we have some parents who need to take it. So parents, guardian, they can attend the class. Basically, it increases their knowledge of child development milestone on appropriate parenting skill. It's a non-spanking curriculum. We teach parents alternative to coach their children for the behavior to prevent child abuse that could happen. And we do work with organizations such as DHS, Women's Center High Desert. So we get referral from those organizations. As I mentioned, we offered our first class last in the fall, and we're offering a new one this winter. The schedule and the frequency is determined on the demand. We have 12 people sign up to start the class tonight, so there is definitely a demand in the community of Ridgecrest. By being here in Ridgecrest, we offer a service that people will have to take online at a highly cost or drive out of town to take the class. So I think it's been pretty beneficial to our community to offer this service. And the goal is we want people to become, if they struggle as parents, we want them to become better parents. That's all I have for you today, but if you have any question, I would love to answer your question.
That's great, Eric. Thank you for taking time and sharing today.
Oh, my pleasure.
So if you have a question for him, if you want to either post that in the chat, or if you want to turn on your mic, I invite you to do that and ask a question. Eric, the first question that I might ask is, how does the community in need learn of the resources and the different programs that you provide? Is it through things like this? Is it through the partnerships? How do we get the word out to those that are in need?
Well, the people who need the most, DHS is aware of us, so DHS will refer people to us. The school district will refer people to us. So I think the major organization that work with children in need know that we exist. When people call 211, they will get referred back to us if they're calling from Ridgecrest. So I think those are great questions. It's funny because it's a great question because we opened in May and we barely had any people at the beginning, but by the time the word of mouth spread, and now we're doing case management for almost 30 families right now. And then we're serving 120 kids because a lot of those families have a lot of children. People, like when we help someone with electric bill, the word spread out pretty quickly because if usually we are in dealing with low-income family from neighborhood, that people are struggling. So once they get help with electric bill, they'll tell their friends that we're behind on electric bill, we can help. So I think the word of mouth are spreading. So I think, but definitely by networking with the community, those organizations, people know that we exist.
Yeah. Eric, Renee Westlake asked, where do we send donations and who do you write a check to? Is it to First 5 Kern or to CAPK?
Well, it's a very good question. It's a great question. I'm going to post it let me post that in the.
So Eric, if you want to stop presenting, then your picture will go up larger, and then you can type it in the chat if you like.
Okay. So stop sharing.
Yeah.
I've lost the. That's
and then over on the bottom right, there's a little chat box, and if you click that, the chat will pop up.
I lost the whole thing. That's also weird. I don't see any of your. Oh. No. Sorry. Sorry
okay.
for the chat. Okay. So I'm going to post that and then I'll explain. I think it's. So this is a link where you can make a donation, but make sure because they will ask you, because it's all a program within CAPK, so make sure you pick Oasis Ridgecrest, which is actually the last one at the bottom when you scroll down. Otherwise, the money will get to good use, but not to the Ridgecrest center. So make sure if you want to make a cash donation, make sure you select the Oasis in Ridgecrest. So, and then if people. We're cautious with goods because we have limited storage, but you can, if there's certain things you want to donate, you can definitely contact us. So those are, thank you. We appreciate that.
Is that also on your website?
The link to the donation is not on the website because it gives you for CAPK, which typically goes to the food banks. I think it's you can. I guess you can always email me.
Okay.
I'm going to put my. So that's yeah.
Great, thank you. This question isn't for Eric. This one is actually for Ashley. Ashley, you have changed jobs, and somebody emailed Mary Lundstrom me. Can you post your contact information for your new role?
Absolutely.
That we can have others that could contact you. I don't think I have your new email, so I couldn't share it.
You might not. I'll send you an email though, Tim, and make sure that you have it.
Thank you. Does anybody else have questions for Eric? Renee, you raised your hand. Can you turn on your microphone?
Yeah, my question would have to be, if you hear of someone that needs help, how do you refer them to a program? Do they have to be referred by an organization?
No, we will talk to any clients. So some programs are income-based, some are not. So we will have them come to our office and fill a form, an intake form, and then we can assess their needs. So if you have any people in needs, just send them our way, and then we'll take care of them. Depending on the situation, they will qualify for something, won't qualify for others. So I think that's a very excellent question that we will assess the need to anyone.
So that would be the Oasis Center at 814 North Norma.
And they can call. I'll give you my telephone is 760-248. We will take walk-in, but we always recommend people call in because sometimes we're busy with our clients or we are in meetings, so we can dedicate more time when they make an appointment. So it's better to make an appointment, but we don't turn people away. So.
Mary, I think you turned your microphone on to ask a question, and then there was some background. I think there was some reverberation, so I muted you. If you want to turn your mic back on to ask your question, Mary.
That's okay. You already asked it for me. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, if there's no other questions, I want to just thank Eric for taking time and sharing this great resource in our community and all the good work that you're doing. We're very grateful to welcome you into Ridgecrest. And now, Eric, before we totally bounce off, where is your accent from?
Oh, I'm French. I grew up in France, in Normandy, so that's where my accent is from. Yeah.
So how are you adjusting to Ridgecrest?
Well, I've been living in the U.S. for, since 1998, for 23 years. So, but I was living in I live in Davis, and I was living in Modesto. So it's been an adjustment, but I've been pretty amazed with the community. I took this job. I had done volunteer work before with a shelter in Davis, with an organization in Modesto, but that wasn't my background because I actually didn't from the wine industry. But my husband took a job as a college president of Cerro Corso, so I tagged along with Ridgecrest, and that's how people are like, what are you doing in Ridgecrest? What brought you here? So that's it's mostly because my spouse is the president of the college that I came along, but I found this great opportunity to do some great work. So I'm happy to be. I'm very grateful for the community. So
that's great. I hadn't put the two together, so that you came here when Sean came to Ridgecrest. I hadn't put those two together, but now that makes a little bit more sense, especially since Natalie mentioned just last week that you all went over the holiday back to France. So that must have been special.
So thank you.
Well, like I said, we're glad you're here and we're able to share with us today.
Me too.
A couple of things I wanted to highlight is, again, next month we have our luncheon, and we're hoping that will be in person. And next month we'll have Josh Mann. I think Josh is on the call, or he was earlier, so that we're looking forward to it. There he is.
Yeah, thanks.
Having Josh share with us about and talk about trash. Everyone loves trash, so that'll be really good to have Josh share. And hopefully, Josh, that'll be in person. That's our goal, right? So.
Yes, pandemic permitting, as always. So.
Right. So then the next one would be that we have our EOC is on February 24th, and that again is hopefully will be in person, and the board will be looking at that to decide. Another one that I should highlight is that pandemic not willing, or what, I don't know how to say that, as long as the pandemic doesn't continue through into April, we are planning to have the Follies on April 1st. So put that on your calendar. Janice Bottorff will be very pleased to know that we have that announced, and that's going to be planned for April 1st, that first weekend. So everyone can get out and make a fool of themselves on the 1st of April in the Follies. So I want to just say thank you again for joining us at the Chamber Luncheon today. Look forward to hopefully meeting with you in person next month. And thank you again, Eric, for sharing about what's going on through the Oasis.
Thank you. That was my pleasure. I'm grateful for.
Thanks, Eric.
As a guest speaker.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Be well.